In the few minutes that I have left with you, I wanted to address, so this was at least one of the two ayat that I wanted to talk to you about our attitude towards the musibah. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. But in these last few minutes, I want to highlight something else. About musibah, about calamity and about difficulty, about challenges that happen in life. And that is, in the Quran, there are two kinds of ayat. In one set of ayat, Allah Azza wa Jal says, whatever happens to you, ma asaba min musibatin, fil ardi wala fis sama, illa fi kitabin min qabli an nabra'aha, fi Surah Al-Hadid. There is not a single calamity that ever happens anywhere to anyone. There isn't one in existence. Rather, even on the earth or in the sky, it doesn't matter where it happens, it is already recorded in a book that we've decreed. Meaning it's from the qadr of Allah, it was supposed to happen. You don't get to say about somebody who died at a young age, oh, he had his whole life ahead of him. He didn't. There's no such thing. It was done, it was decreed. This is how long his journey was on this earth. My journey on this earth is decreed. Yours is decreed. When you go to the graveyard, you find some people lived, or they were born 1901, died 2013. And you go to the graveyard, you find somebody born 2013, died 2013. You find those graves too. You know? And this is decreed by Allah. It is decided how long each of us will stay on this earth. It is decided. You don't get to say, oh, if he was still alive today. No. It's decreed. It's laid down. The other thing Allah Azza wa Jalla says, مَا أَصَابَ مِن مُصِيبَةٍ إِلَّا بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ. No difficulty, no calamity, no target will strike you except by Allah's permission. By Allah's permission. And look at the people of Iman. They say such a beautiful thing. قُلْ لَن يُصِيبَنَا إِلَّا مَا كَتَبَ اللَّهُ لَنَا وَلَمْ يَقُولُوا عَلَيْنَا. It's incredible. The believers are told, no difficulty will hit us except for what Allah has written for us. They could have said what Allah has written against us. Because when you talk about difficulty, you think in the terms of against. This difficulty is hitting against me. The ayah says, مَا كَتَبَ اللَّهُ لَنَا, for us. هُوَ مَوْلَانَا. هُوَ مَوْلَانَا. Subhanallah. Allah Azza wa Jal teaches the believers that even when difficulties come, it is written not against us, but it is written for us. In the ayah, it is written for us. And that is the attitude of a believer in regards to difficulty even. It is for him. But now finally, there are ayat in the Quran. Not one, several. In which, whatever happens to you, فَأَصَابَهُمْ سَيِّئَاتْ مَا عَمِلُوا, what hit them was the evil of what they did. فَمَا أَصَابَكُم مِّن مُّصِيبَةٍ فَبِمَا كَسَبَتْ أَيْدِيكُمْ وَيَعْفُو عَنْ كَثِيرٍ. Whatever you did, whatever challenge hit you, whatever difficulty hit you, it is because of what you did. Allah says it's your fault. When difficulty happened to you in some ayat, Allah says it's not just because of Allah. Allah decided it's because of you. It's your fault. And He's forgiving Allah. Now how do we reconcile those two? Is it because of Allah or is it because it's your fault? First thing of advice here, number one, Allah never says قُل. قُل, say it's your fault. Except in one place in Ali Imran, قُلْ هُوَ مِنْ عِنْدِ أَنفُسِكُمْ. In other words, we are not supposed to say to someone, this is happening to you because it's your fault. You know why you got diagnosed with cancer? Because you don't pray 5 times a day. That's why you have cancer. You don't get to say that. You don't get to say that. And on the other hand, in the battle of Uhud, the Rasul was told, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, tell them it's your fault. When they say, how come this happened? When the believers say, how come this happened? Tell them this is because of you. In other words, in the specific case of Uhud, what happened? The believers were winning. They were winning. And they were at an advantageous position and the enemy was running. Then some of the archers left their position. And when they left their position, the tide of battle turned, everything happened. And now you don't get to blame Allah, you left a strategic position. You have to take responsibility for your actions. What we are learning in that ayah is you don't get to put everything on Allah. You were driving over the speed limit, you got in a car accident, and then you say Allah decreed that I should, مَا أَصَابَ مِن مُصِيبَةٍ فَبِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ. No. You were speeding. You were driving like a maniac. This is min indi anfusikum. This is because of what you did. You put, you're supposed to get an oil change. You put ghee inside your car or something. And your car is not running. And then you say, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. What can we do? فَإِذَا أَصَابَتْهُمْ مُصِيبَةٌ قَالُوا إِنَّا لِلَّهِ. No. This is huwa min indi anfusikum. You have to take responsibility. You can't just put everything on Allah. You're not applying for a job. You're sitting at home all day. No job is coming to you. Allah is not sending an angel with an offer letter to your house. And you're like, Allah Azza wa Jalla, when He decides, until then, inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. No. There's this balance in the Quran. When things happen to you that are out of your control, when things happen to you that are out of your control, they are from Allah. A flood is out of your control. Somebody else's car hit you, that's out of your control. You got diagnosed with a genetic disorder, some kind of disease, that was out of your control. But if that same disease came to you because you're smoking 4 packs a day, and if your doctor keeps telling you you're heading towards diabetes and you put a little bit of tea in your sugar, you're that kind of guy, then you don't get to blame Allah. This is min indi anfusikum. The Quran is such a balanced approach to this problem. The believer has to understand how to take responsibility. How to take responsibility. But in either of those cases, whatever came to you, unless it is death, it is a gift from Allah so you can learn your lesson and move on and do better. There are people who lose their job. And there's only 2 kinds of people who lose their job. Either they blame themselves or they blame Allah. Right? And so sometimes it's because of economic cuts or whatever. But if you're coming to work late every single day, you're not finishing your work, you're behind in communications, there are 30 emails every day, you don't answer them, and then you get fired, don't blame Allah. You were supposed to get fired. And when you get fired, that is a gift from Allah, because the next time you do get a job, you're not going to make the same mistakes. You learn from it. Sometimes these difficulties, they make us better human beings. They make us better believers. They make us stronger as people. They make us more responsible. So I pray that Allah Azza wa Jal, first and foremost, just as a recap of everything in these 2 minutes, recap of everything. First of all, the first thing when difficulty happens, train your tongue, train your heart. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. That's number 1. Number 2, don't say to other people that something is happening to them because of Allah. Don't say this to people. Do not say this to people. If you want to say that to people, before you think of anyone else, think about yourself. You don't get to decide something happened from the ghaib, something happened from Allah, and you don't get to decide why did Allah do this, that He didn't offer His explanation to you. You don't have that license. And when it comes to ourselves, we have to make the distinction between things that are out of our hands, you can't control them, then we say inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. And the things that are within our control, we have to take our own responsibility. We have to acknowledge the fact that we were the ones who messed up. We were the ones who should have done better. This is as a result of our own misbehavior. May Allah Azza wa Jal make us responsible believers, especially in the things we say. May Allah Azza wa Jal include us among those who are congratulated by His Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam as as-sabirin. May Allah make us a people of inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un from our tongue and from our heart whenever a calamity occurs. May Allah Azza wa Jal make our hearts strong and make us of those who can navigate the tests of this life. In every kind of test that comes our way, may Allah Azza wa Jal make us of those who pass all of these tests and are meeting with Him with light in our chests and light coming out of our right hands on the Day of Judgment. Barakallahu li wa lakum fil Qur'an al-Hakim wa nafa'ani wa iyyakum bil ayati wa